Hey guys, I'm just going to go over a couple of quick settings here. Try to minimize the visual clutter and maximize your field of view, and hopefully make it easier for some people who have problems in the big fights and keeping track of things and people. So first things first here, this is basic UI setting. It's very close to what the default is. A nice big mini map in the upper right and our squad in the upper left. Big ass chat box in the bottom left, and a nice big bunch of skills down here. And the first thing that I do is I make my mini map a little smaller, and I take my chat box and I swap it up here, make it a little tinier. And I'm going to go to the options and the text size, make it small, just a little smaller. And then I'm just going to hide it out of the way. Down here for the squad, views grid, turn that off, and just play in party. Unless you're playing a healing role, specifically a Tempest or a Scrapper, where your job is to heal the whole squad, you don't really need to see squad view. You just need to see party view. It'll simplify and minimize your visual clutter. Next, I'm going to go to Options, Graphics Options here, and Interface Size. So this is the normal interface. To get a sense of the differences, let's go to the biggest interface. Look how fat everything is and how much space it takes up. And the large one's a little bit smaller. Normal, it's a little bit smaller. And then we have small, which makes everything really nice and small. Gets it out of the way. This is what I use. Here in the options again, general options. I'm going to go to the camera settings. Rotation speed, how quickly your camera rotates around when you press and hold the right mouse button. By default, this is pretty low. We can just turn it up. Now you can spin your camera really fast. And we'll come back to why that's very useful later, but trust me, it's very useful. Vertical position near. This is the height of the camera when you're zoomed in. I just have it up. And vertical position far is the same thing for when you're zoomed out. It lets you see further away. Collision sensitivity. If you don't have a good graphics card, this can cause some performance issues. Try and find somewhere between the low and the high end that doesn't impact your performance too much. If you can turn it up all the way, just turn it up all the way. It makes it easier when you're fighting in hallways and tunnels and stuff. Causes less camera issues. Zoom sensitivity is just how quickly you can zoom in and out. I'm just going to scroll my mouse wheel back and forth here, and you can see this is not very quick. Turn it down all the way, and it's even slower. Turn it up all the way, and it's super fast. Now, the biggest change for your visuals is the field of view. By default, it's pretty small. You just slide this out, your field of view is going to increase dramatically. Now just imagine world versus world. How much more of the fight you can now see. And the vertical position of your camera can affect this too, especially when it comes to peeking over walls. You have your camera up. This is actually why these settings were introduced, was to combat the AC hacks and hacking over walls. Now everybody can do it. Okay, here in World versus World, we'll go over some of the other settings here. See, always show my name. I turn that off because I know my name. I don't need to see it. And I know who I am and where I am on the screen. Go down here and you can see show all NPC names. You got all these NPCs over here. And they don't really interfere with fights or anything, but you don't need the visuals on. You can just turn it off. It's just one less thing your game has to render. Same with usable objects, although this is something that can be useful. Because I mean, if you turn this off, you won't see tactivators. But if you never use tactivators, I guess that's a non-issue. Back here we have health percent and simple condition floaters. These two things are not particularly important. Condition floaters does disable the icons for each condition. I think they bubble up on the screen. Turn that off, you just get numbers. It's a little less clutter. Other than that, party, squad, health bars, these are situational. If you don't need them, don't turn them on. If you do need them, turn them on. And then down here, simple nameplates. Turn this on for everyone. You see people become just a guild tag with a dot over their head. If you don't have a guild tag visible, you're just a person with a dot over your head. This is actually most beneficial when you're fighting enemy groups. Generally, I only play with it as enemies only, but if you have problems with visual clutter, even with your own teammates, and losing the commander tag, if you turn it on for everyone, it will reduce your party and your squad down to just nameplates. Reduces the visual clutter and makes it easier to follow the commander tag. So if you are someone who has a problem keeping an eye on the tag, you may benefit from having that on. If not, throw it on enemies only. It'll reduce the visual manipulation of overlapping tags, restaggering, and making it seem like there's more people there than there actually is. You see here, got all these people's options. Look at how easy that is to find what you're looking for. While we're here waiting and looking for some people to fight, I've joined Panda Squad, and you can see party UI over here, nice and simple, versus grid UI. You know, if I want to see everybody, takes up more space, and it doesn't show me the details that I need to see. I don't need to see everybody's health bars. I'm not a healer. I do this, see boons and stuff. Not that I really do anything there either. I'm just DPS. We go open up our DPS. Normally, I would just throw this over here. And I'd pull it out if there was anything that I was looking for in particular. As you can see, we found an enemy group and simple nameplates. See how much less clutter that is? And you can see there is what, 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 to 30 people in there. Not 50. Back up for a second here. Press the right buttons. Back down, and we're going to turn these off. And then go look at the same group. See how many more people that looks like? That doesn't look like 25 people. That looks like a lot more. Okay, so that's all we got for the first video for your visual clutter and maximizing your field of view. One last thing before I go is the mouse cursor I use in the game is a little program here called YOLO Mouse. And if you're interested in it, you can get it here. This is the website right up here, Pandatimo GitHub io/YOLO Mouse. And it's freeware. Works great. It's wonderful. You get lots of different icon options, and I use it in most games. Anyway, I'll see you again soon for a little rundown on keybind.